Well, hello YouTube. Hello Facebook. Again, this is Dr. Leon McCray. I'm out here in Woodstock, Virginia. I have actually my latest project I've been working on for some time. I purchased this house. You can see this house, see the for sale sign, and actually I am closing on this house today at 2:30. When I purchased it, it did not have a flower bed, so I kind of created a flower bed. The garage door was damaged. I made sure that I replaced the garage door. It needed a new roof. I got the roof redone. New roof. I want to take you to the outside, and we made sure that we got it power washed and everything. And we also put in a new AC system, brand new AC system. And what's unique about this property, it's really in a very nice neighborhood. If you can see in the background, there is the hospital just down the street, within walking distance. Downtown is a couple streets over, walking distance. Huge deck, and I'll have you take a look at that in a minute. And here is the yard, all the kind of room under the deck. Now actually you can make a nice patio up under the deck. And here's the backyard. Big, huge trees, as you can see. It's a very, very nice area, almost like a park kind of setting. And I'm going to show you, it's a little creek running in the back. So when you're on your balcony, you're overlooking the creek. A lot of ducks and stuff. I can hear the ducks in the background where they run across this creek. Here you're looking at the back of the house with the large deck. The other thing that I did when I bought this house, it was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house with a full basement, walkout basement, as you can see. And as you can see, I put brand new windows in the basement. And I'm gonna go around the other side so you can see the other side of the house. And I'm going to get into what I did to this particular house to create and force equity into the property and create value. I call it just printing money. Because sometimes in real estate, it allows you to position the property, and so you can force equity or force value into the property. Something as simple as putting in a flower bed to improve the curve appeal, you can get a lot of value from that. So we're walking into the property. Again, this is Dr. Leon McCray. We're walking into the property. And the good thing about this particular property, had all hardwood floors in the main part of the house. And so you're walking into the house, and what I did, everything was kind of closed off. And so I opened part of this kitchen up so you could actually see from the living room into this kitchen dining room area. And so when I did that, it was a wall right in this area. It's a wall here. And I took this wall down and I made a little L-shaped island. The kitchen cabinets, they are the existing cabinets that were here. And what I did with these particular cabinets, I just painted the cabinets and put new knobs on the cabinets. I put a new faucets, new sink, and obviously I put new appliances in. And so when you walk through the door, the double French doors, and look at this view off of the deck. Huge deck. Imagine barbecuing on this deck, overlooking the water, looking down at the scenery. Now look across this deck, and look how big this deck is. Very, very, very nice. This is bigger than my deck at home. It's one thing that attracted to me. Plus, you've got these big, nice shade trees. So that's kind of attracted me to this property. The other thing I did to create value, I'm going to walk you through this. It did have a one-car garage. We painted the house. When we got to the bathroom, what we did is I put new vanity, new toilet, new mirror, that type thing in the bathrooms. But the rest of the rooms were all looking fine. The hardwood floors were redone prior to me buying the place. So that was already done. But the main portion that needed to be done, or that I chose to do, was to finish the basement. Now I had a choice. When I looked at this, I believed I got it at a really good price. It was $135,000. And they had trouble selling this house. I think it was on the market originally for like $170,000. And it kept staying on the market. And so when I first made an offer on this property at $120, and the current owner rejected that offer, and I sat on it a little bit, just wanted to see what they would do. And I waited a couple weeks, and a couple weeks later, I went from $120 and offered them $130 on this property, and we agreed to the $130. And one of the reasons, what my thought process is that, well, I understand that the previous owner was having trouble selling the property at the price that they wanted, but I didn't think I was going to have a problem, so I took some risks. All right, but one of the reasons I thought there was hidden value in it is that there are townhouses in the area, in the same area, in the same town, that was selling, I mean, talking about 2-bedroom, 2-bath townhouses that was selling in the 120 range. Well, if a townhouse is selling for 120, and this house, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, that has a full walk-out basement unfinished, is selling for $135. To me, it was a no-brainer. Now, either I could keep this and make this a rental and not finish the basement, I thought. So the choice was, am I going to just spruce up the kitchen like it's done, like I did now, and just kind of open things up, just deal with the first level? I could probably spend maybe $5,000 and got everything done upstairs on the first level. Do I want to do that, or do I want to tackle a big job and finish the whole basement? And so I chose the latter to finish the basement, and still 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, what was the best thing to do with that. But anyway, I chose to do that. So let me take you downstairs to the basement. We're walking down, and I put a new rail. Put a new rail. All right, let me turn some lights on. And we're gonna walk in one of the rooms. Now, what I liked about this, because it is a walkout basement, I finished everything, put on new engineered hardwood floors. But look out this window. I mean, this is purely walkout. It's like you're on the first level. You know, big window, very nice. Everything is nicely done. Put the closets in and everything. And actually, this particular room has 2 closets. What I did, I replaced the floors, so ceramic tile floors in the common areas, and put engineering hardwood floors in the bedrooms. All right, a little living room area, as you can see, and here's the hallway that's leading to the bathroom. So I added a bathroom and kind of showcased it. New toilets, everything is brand new in this area. And here's the area where I put a full kitchen in it, a full kitchen with its own laundry room, its own laundry wash and dry hookup. And so in this house, what I did, I made a full house, a 2-bedroom house downstairs, or 2-bedroom apartment downstairs. So you could actually, since it has a walkout basement, I could totally separate the upstairs from the downstairs. New cabinets, upper and lower, refrigerator. Got some pantry space over here. And so here's the door that's leading outside. I'll just open that just to kind of give you an idea. So you open this door and you're outside. Okay, now that's looking from up under the deck. You're looking down at the water. All right, you come back in. So this is a self-contained apartment. So someone could, the new buyer, I thought would, I guess my choice in doing this, either I was going to rent it out, because you could really rent this out, a 2-bedroom apartment, you can rent it out for, $800 a month, And then upstairs is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and you could easily get $1,100, $1,200 a month for the upstairs house portion. So, you could generate probably $2,000 a month with this unit. All right, and go back upstairs. And so I don't regret, what I did. It came out really well. The issue is this. Normally I've been doing this for about 20 years. What I normally do is I do buy and hold. And I've been doing that for quite some time. Well, because I only had 3-year money, since I had a personal finance person that gave me the full amount of the purchase price, and he gave me enough to do a good portion of the rehab of this particular house. All right. And I was having some challenges in terms of, what am I going to do? How am I going to get permanent financing for this particular house? And so a lot of the banks was tripping about, getting permanent financing sometimes can be a real challenge, particularly when you have quite a few properties and your loan to value might not be where they want it to be, or some other excuse. And so that was a challenge. So, I finally said, well, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the market. And that's what I did. But let me back up a little bit. The challenges I had with this property that took so long for me to finish, and it was a mistake. You know, sometimes you get a bid on a property to do your rehab, and you go with the cheapest bid. And even though I knew this individual had done a lot of work for me before, it was a mistake. First of all, he's not a general contractor. I don't even believe he's licensed, even though he says he is licensed. But the issue was, he started the job, and I mean, he's the individual that lives paycheck to paycheck, and everything is a crisis for him. And you know, the price he quoted me, he couldn't do the job for that price. And so every time I turned around, he needed more money, needed more money, he needed more money. And so finally I had to put my foot down and say, look, I said, you agreed to do X amount of work for X dollars, and these were the time frames that you would get paid. And so when I started to hold them to that, to the written contractual agreement, he didn't want to do it. And so he picked his tools up, left the job, gone. And so now I got everything tore up downstairs, stuff tore up upstairs, and I don't have a contractor. All right? Big mistake. And so finally I get another contractor. He was actually interested in fixing the house up, and him and his he's a contractor, but he had two other contractor friends that they were roommates, brothers, and what they wanted to do is they wanted to fix up the house and rent the house from me. All right, and part of their fee of you know, getting a good price on the rental was they would do a lot of the work. All right. And so we signed it, we made an agreement of what we would do and how it would be paid for, a written agreement. And they started the project. And they worked real good for a month or so. And all of a sudden, I could not get this individual to return my call. Now I'm saying, oh my goodness, deja vu, gonna be the same thing. And so I come in one day, they had taken all their tools and they have disappeared. Fortunately, I hadn't paid them anything because they were still working on the portion where they was doing a certain amount of work and they were going to get an offset on the rent. And so they did quite a bit of work, but they left the job. And they still left me hanging, you know, left me without a contractor. And so now I'm on my second contractor. And so now I'm trying to figure out, now what am I going to do to finish this project? All right, still got a lot to do. And so a friend of mine, he's a contractor. I had him come take a look at it. And he took a look at it. Because, I mean, it was still a lot to be done, but mainly it was a lot of electrical stuff that needed to be tightened up and finished. And so he looked at the job, he started doing the electric. He said, look, I'm going to help you out, and I'm going to get this done for you. I'll do the electric. And so he started on the electric, started getting that done. And then he said, look, you know, I got a couple people that I'm going to put over here and we can get this whole thing done for you. So we came up with a price of doing the whole job and finishing it out. All right. And so he did finish the job. So now 3 contractors later, and a year has now, a little more than a year, about 13 months went by, and now the house is finished. And so I've got so much money tied up in the house now that I feel it's the best thing to do is go ahead on and put it on the market. And I put it on the market, and today I will close. All right. So I spent quite a bit of money. It's on the market for $220. Bought it for $135. I borrowed $165 because even though it only cost $135, my personal banker gave me enough money to do the rehab as well. So that covered a great portion of the rehab. But after my closing costs, I think I walked away from closing with about, it's about $25,000. And I had to put an additional $10,000 with that to get the house finished, because I had to finally get the roof repaired and some other things. And so, again, none of my money, my personal funds, were used to finance the house. And so what are the returns on something like that? Well, the returns are really infinite returns. So I'll walk away with a few dollars, but the project is done. Somebody has a nice house, and I'll walk away with a nice chunk of change. So I'm excited. The lessons learned on this is that go ahead on and spend the money for a licensed contractor. That's what I would recommend, because I could have gotten this house done in probably 2 months if I had the right contractor. It probably would have cost me, you know, instead of $45,000, it probably would have cost me maybe an additional $5,000, or maybe even $10,000. But it would have been worth it to pay the extra money to get it done, and I'll tell you why. Because, you know, I'm still paying interest on the loan. Instead of paying interest for, say, 2 months, I wind up paying interest 16 months. Okay, and so that eats into your profit. And so lesson learned, go ahead on and pay the extra money to get a licensed contractor that's going to pull permits and get the job done. But at least you get it done and you get it over, and you can move on with the next projects. Again, this is Dr. Leon McCray. I do videos like this quite often, even though I haven't done one in a while. I'm going to start doing more. And so I'm excited. I go to closing today at 2:30. And so we want to do things like this. Hey, get your 40 acres and a mule. Real estate is an awesome way to do just that. And so I recommend that. Remember, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. Do good things. But to do that, hey, you got to get started and you got to do it. Have faith. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in God. Have the faith of Christ, and you can get it done. Signing off. Go ahead on and hit that share button. Go ahead and hit, if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe. Again, this is Dr. Leon McCray, and this is the last picture of my project. Thank you so much, and God bless you.